trade dog as it is a freemium model, it becomes really tricky for anyone else also to find out a commercial model. But yeah, we'll be rolling out some exciting news probably by the end of this week in Dubai.
Awesome. That's great news. All right, looks like we are live over on the Trade Dog YouTube with the Uniland video. We have Chandris here. Can you hear me?
Hey, hi Matty, nice to meet you, man.
Awesome to meet you as well.
How are you doing?
Hey man, I'm good, David.
Good. Nice to have you here. Super excited to have you on board. We've got a extended period of 30 minutes, so we're pretty flexible in terms of how you want to kind of introduce. But obviously for us, we're keen to understand kind of maybe a bit of a background for anyone that's not familiar with Uniland. Believe it or not, there may be some people out there that haven't heard of you yet. And if you want to do a kind of introduction to the project, and then we can maybe just throw any questions out at you. So over to you.
Yeah. So is the presentation visible currently?
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So basically, I'll just try to cater to, as we have some folks who might not be too much into DeFi and everything. So basically, I was leading the marketing and the strategy part of Matic, and during that time, we had few money markets, like we have Compound, we have Aave. There are multiple money markets, but again, the problem was that the crypto world is evolving so rapidly. There are so many new things coming up. Everyone coming up with their token. Everyone has different utilities for their token. But again, what happens that every token or every ERC20 asset which is available there in the market is not as highly liquid as probably Bitcoin is, Ethereum is, or around top 10 or top 20 assets are. So they are obviously not as highly liquid, and again the volatility in crypto is on a very bigger side, larger side, if we compare it with other assets. So again, in crypto, with decentralized finance, we have that functionality available where you can do the lending and borrowing of your tokens if the supply is there, if the demand is there. But again, as you know, it is not controlled by any centralized entity. Like on Binance currently, you can go and start lending, borrowing of any asset. It is controlled by centralized entity. But if you want to do it in a decentralized way, the way the current protocol works, the architecture they have, it is very difficult for them, and most of these protocols are currently governed by through their governance model. So again, everyone has to agree, and most of the tokens are held by specific people. So again, it is not that much decentralized as it might look. So I, along with the two co-founders who were working on a product called as MetaTransact. So MetaTransact is basically a protocol which allows you to do meta transactions, where if you want to send any transaction on Ethereum blockchain, you can do it without using Ethereum. You can pay fees in other tokens also. So they were working on that product. That product is completed. That is live also, if anyone wants to try it out, MetaTransact. So we were discussing on this idea that if we can come up with a solution that basically can allow any ERC20 token to be a part of money market. Like if any token is coming, like we are seeing this kind of hype around people liking the decentralized finance space. Lot of tokens are currently getting listed and getting launched on Uniswap. So we were discussing, but out of the 6,000 plus tokens which are there in the market currently, only around 30 tokens which are available for lending and borrowing in a decentralized way. We are leaving a bigger chunk. And if actually if we look at the market of this data, then around 30 billion. So this is slightly old data. We did the number crunching again few days back. So currently around 35 billion dollars of assets are there. They are just sitting out the demand for lending and borrowing is there, but we don't have a mechanism where we can allow the lending and borrowing of these assets. So again, when we started doing research, I was very well connected into the Binance ecosystem. So I reached out to all the Binance IO projects. Also, I reached out to all of my friends and who are the project founders, and I discussed with them that we are working on the idea where it will be possible to open the lending and borrowing of your token without any centralized entity controlling it, and it will be much safer than compound and Aave. Now how it is much safer, I will explain that also. So currently, how does compound and Aave works? They don't have their own liquidity. They are just a money market which is dependent for liquidity of liquidation. Like if prices drop heavily, then they are dependent on other dexes for liquidation. So again, this is one of the problem where most of the protocols are not able to allow larger assets into their ecosystem. So we came up with the idea that we are going to build a complete ecosystem where we have our own trading platform also, and based on the liquidity which is available on the trading platform, you will be able to lend and borrow the token. And now, as it is a part of single ecosystem, our trading platform is integrated with the lending and borrowing platform. It is going to be much secure in terms of when the when the liquidations has to happen. So when I reached out with this idea, obviously most of the people had valid questions how you are going to handle the liquidation, as that is a problem. So once they understood the approach, we received a very positive feedback from everyone that this is something which is definitely needed into the ecosystem, and we should definitely work towards that. And when the number crunching was done, so more than 50% of the asset, obviously most of the market cap is currently grabbed by the few projects, few ERC20 tokens which comes under top 20, top 30, like Link is there, BAT is there, Maker is there, DAI is there, SNX is there, Lend is there. So most of the market cap is grabbed by these tokens, and they are obviously currently supported. But again, there is sitting a very huge chunk, more than 50%, which is not still tapped into DeFi properly. And the community effect which this tokens has, again they are not that big market cap wise, but the community following, if you actually crunch the numbers, you will realize that 80% of the community is still not tapped into the money market. So we were pretty sure, and this idea is going to be really great. And if you actually look, then some very famous tokens, like even take example of BNB, they are also supported on ERC20 tokens, ERO, Huobi token, OKB, Leo, Matic, and so many tokens are there which has a very large community, which has good liquidity also. They can be added, but again that risk is there as they are highly volatile. So they are not able to enter into the DeFi space, because again security is the most important part. And that is why our solution which we are working on becomes very important. So again our I mean, it will work similar to the other money markets which are there, just like compound and Aave. The only difference is we have a complete ecosystem of trading platform, as well as the lending and borrowing platform. So liquidity has to be there. So recently we also did run a poll that lot of DeFi projects are coming currently. They provide liquidity on Uniswap for launch. When we launched our token on October 15th, we launched it by providing liquidity on three platforms. Like we chose Uniswap, we chose SushiSwap, and we also provided liquidity on Balancer. Now all these three platforms has their own community. Obviously they have their own advantages and network effects with them. But again, nobody is offering any other feature just apart from trading of the asset. So we recently ran a poll that if you have been given an opportunity where you provide liquidity on Uniswap, along with that you provide liquidity on Uniland also, which is not only providing the asset swap feature, but it is also providing the feature of lending and borrowing. So as soon as your token is launched, one of the utility of lending and borrowing will be unlocked on our platform. So we received very positive feedback on that poll, and we already talking to a lot of teams which has their listings coming up in future, and they are going to launch it on Uniswap. So they will also launch on Uniland, and again, the lending borrowing part of those tokens will unlock from day one. So in that way, we have a lot of synergies to offer for. And as I mentioned that we started this idea in mid 2019 on around August 2019. On 6th of August, I made the blog live about the idea. Then we sort of closed our fundraising also quickly, and then our token also went live. So we are already 3-4 months into our existing roadmap, and we have received support of lot of good folks. Like recently we announced that Probit will be integrating Uniland, and again, they are big. They already have a lot of users. There are some other exchanges also which we are talking to, and they want to explore the integration with Uniland. There are we are working with 3 commas also. We are, so I mean, we already have good partners in the ecosystem who are supporting us, and they are again part of Uniland ecosystem. Some are building on top of Uniland, like Crypto Locally is one of the platform which does peer to peer lending and borrowing. So again, they are integrating Uniland so that their users can also enjoy the benefit of decentralized lending and borrowing. Then we had a partnership with CyberFi also, which is sort of working towards bringing the automation layer on top of Uniland. So like our obviously you can use our platform, but if given the opportunity with CyberFi, they can automate a lot of things for you. Like in trading, you do that when it reaches this level, this action has to be taken. So they have that tools and techniques. So not only while we are still working on our product, which will go live, the alpha will be launched in this month only, December. We are at the same time we are working towards enhancing the Uniland ecosystem. And there are so many other projects which are coming along with us. They are adding value either through they will be bringing liquidity to our platform, or they are building some sort of tools on our platform. So yeah, I mean, all the things are going good. Currently we are receiving huge support from everyone. And yeah, I mean, we have been receiving huge support from the media also, like when we launched Nasdaq, Yahoo News, Coindesk, Crypto Briefing, Crypto, I mean, all the good media sort of covered us. So things are going good on that front. So again, I mean, in terms of key feature, we have our own token also, Uniland Finance token. For that, we raised 3.1 million from some very well known investors in the space also. So what is different in our in our protocol currently, that Uniland is so hyped, and a lot of people are talking about and want to know more about it. So currently, I'll just go through this image first. So if you see, there are majorly good number of protocols which are very well known and famous in the DeFi ecosystem, like Compound, Aave, Maker, Uniswap, Balancer, BZX. But out of this all these platforms, they are interdependent on each other. Nobody is working in a way where they are building their own ecosystem. Like Uniswap is there. Uniswap is only focusing on trading of the assets. They are not at all focusing on lending and borrowing and tokenization of assets. Whereas we have Compound Aave, they are focusing on lending and borrowing, but again, they are not focusing on trading of assets. That is why they are not able to welcome more assets. So whereas Uniland comes into the picture, and basically we are doing it all. We are we are building a ecosystem where the trading of assets will happen, where based on the liquidity available on the trading pair, the lending and borrowing of the asset will also happen. And as it is happening within a single ecosystem, we are not dependent on any other protocol. If we want, we will obviously use Uniswap and other platforms in some or the other way, but again, I mean, we are not dependent on anyone. So currently, if you see that the lending borrowing platforms like Aave supports 21 assets, Maker supports 11 assets, Compound supports 11 assets. And if you actually look, there are more than 6,000 plus assets. So we are planning to solve this problem and do it in a permissionless way. We are doing it in a permissionless way, so that just like you can list any token on Uniswap balancer, you will be able to list the token in a similar way on Uniland also. And again, the lending borrowing will be the added feature. And if we see that, if again, the solution which we are building, does it have that sort of demand in the market? So if you look at compound, currently 1.6 billion of assets are logged into compound, 1.5 billion of assets are logged into Aave, 2.7 billion logged into Maker. So obviously the market is there, huge market is there, and these are the numbers where very limited assets are supported, whereas we are coming up with a solution where we will not only be supporting this assets, but we will be supporting the assets which are not included by this major protocols. So like if I have to focus majorly, like I mentioned about the permissionless listing, lending, borrowing, trading, these are the three major parts which I have been talking. Again, so how does our protocol function, and why do we have a token? So we have our Uniland finance token. The major purpose for this token is going to be governance. Like when we are going to launch, we will launch basically with a base pair of Ethereum. And going forward, through our governance model, a lot of things will be decided, like which base pair we should add more. And again, around interest rate model also, around liquidation mechanisms also. So we have our own token. So all the token holders which are there currently with us, they will be able to take part in multiple decisions which will be happening, as our protocol is dependent on the liquidity which comes to our protocol. And we want to drive the usage of our platform in much better way. So that is why we are also incentivizing all the users which are participating. So if you provide liquidity on Uniland, now Uniswap also has it for few payers. SushiSwap has been doing great work in that front. So we will have the the liquidity mining thing for Uniland, where we will choose uh, pairs, or we will rotate it also over the period of time, which will have the benefits of liquidity mining. And again, the same will happen with yield farming also. We are coming up with few cool concepts also, like fusion staking, where or you call it fusion, yield farming, where just like in a centralized exchange, if you work, then you can go and do a trading competition on Binance. You can go and do some sort of activity on any centralized exchange. So in the similar way, we want to have these things for our users also. So with fusion staking, if anyone wants to run some campaign around their lending and borrowing, so people will not only be able to yield farm UFT token, but they will be able to yield farm their token also, if that project is interested. And we will support the staking also for that project. These are some of the cool videos actually I wanted to show. Let me just try if it is working. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, so the major part, I wanted to show that currently the market cap which Compound was targeting was 69 billion, whereas we were targeting the market cap of more than 94 billion. Again, I guess this part I already covered. We recently launched our roadmap, so we have our alpha launch coming up in December 2020, and then we will launch the fully functional protocol in quarter 1 2021. So yeah, I mean, we have a really ambitious roadmap where we are coming up with a concept of Uniland ecosystem fund also, where we will be partnering, or we will be figuring out good projects which are there in the ecosystem, and we will be helping them on multiple fronts. And those projects will be ultimately be able to launch on Uniland itself. So yeah, I mean, we have some cool things coming up in the roadmap. So yeah, I guess this is it from my side, guys. Hope I did not take too much time.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Andres.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was quite a comprehensive pitch there. So thank you for that. I think we've got a bunch of questions coming in from the public. Matt, have you got any on Twitter? Otherwise, you can take them, and then there's some coming from YouTube, which I can take if you want.
Yeah, why don't you start, and then I'll look at the Twitter. I was busy retweeting some stuff.
Yeah, no worries. So Chandras, we've got quite a few people here asking some questions. One, I'll just jump straight in. Do you have any plans for cross-chain capabilities for Uniland?
Yeah, so actually, again, I will be releasing the upcoming news on that. So there is, there are some projects which are doing some really cool work, and they are integrating, Polkadot ecosystem. Like you can bring the liquidity from Polkadot to, Ethereum, and obviously Binance Smart Chain is EVM compatible, and there are some other layer two solutions also which are available. So our protocol is been built in a way that any day if we want to support layer 2, those are EVM compatible. Like if we want to support Binance Smart Chain, so the alpha release will also be supporting those platforms. Initially we don't intend to go in that way, because again you see in detail the major liquidity is there on Ethereum chain obviously currently. So we want to tap into that initially, but again obviously if the liquidity comes and it makes sense for us to support other chains, we do have the capability, and our tech team is already exploring into those areas. Yeah,
Nice,
and
nice.
you will soon have something coming up through our announcement on this front. Yeah.
Nice. I know there was a lot of people that were really interested in you coming out with your roadmap. I know you did that this week, so that got people pretty excited. Definitely helped the price appreciation too. So
I
for
mean,
any
I received a lot of congratulations email that our roadmap is very ambitious. And actually, I mean, it was very important for us to focus on the thing which we want to achieve. So we didn't try to do too many things. We are, focusing on the things which are needed. And obviously, the price performance happened. Some seed investors were messaging that, our investment is now 14x, 15x. I was like, congratulations. Not too much focused on that. We are more focused, working towards
build.
delivering the right product. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. It doesn't help. It doesn't harm anyone to see their crypto
Yeah,
balance going up slightly.
it feels good when investors are happy, no doubt in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, cards on the table. I know I'm an investor, and I know Matt is too. So we're certainly not unpleased with that. So a couple other questions for you there, Chandresh. I think there was a question around, something about your USP. I think you've kind of already mentioned that quite comprehensively in that. So I don't know if there was anything else you wanted to ask around that. Somebody's come out with, how do you avoid scam tokens to list on your platform? I don't know if that's something you feel is.
Yeah, again, I mean, so yeah, I will shortly answer that. So currently, if you look at Uniswap, then the listings are happening in a permissionless way. On our platform also the similar thing will be happening. So anyone who would like to list their token, they will have to provide the liquidity on the trading platform, and based on the liquidity which is available on the trading platform, lending and borrowing happens. So again, obviously the liquidity mining and the yield farming of UFT token is not going to be for all the payers. So anyone can come list, they won't be benefiting in terms of getting any free UFT tokens. And again, they will be staking their ETH only, they will be using their token only. So again, many tokens get listed on Uniswap itself currently, but nobody goes and buys that. If you are buying that, then you are wrong. Only check everything before buying into anything. So yeah, in the similar way we will protect our investors. And we were discussing within the team also, is there some other mechanisms we can build around it, where we can have some sort of ratings where, okay, this is the trusted pair, these are not trusted pair, and basically tell our platform users that above this level we are sort of taking the guarantee that these projects are legit, and below this level please do your own research. So again, users research will always be required here.
Yeah, so the standard rule there applies. Do your own research,
Yeah.
people, before making any investments. Couple other questions. Lots of people congratulating you on the content, pretty excited. Uniland is going to be one of the first protocols in DeFi space, which will bring in permissionless listing for trading in form of DEX. And we're bringing in lending and borrowing services as well. I don't know if that's one of your team. It seems more of a statement than a question there. Are your tokens going to be backed by any real world assets? Is another question.
What is the question?
Will your token be backed by any real world assets?
Okay. Yeah. So I guess UFT is not backed by any real world asset. UFT is a governance token, but I guess it could relate to that, Open DeFi is one of the, teams which is working to tokenize the real world assets. So like, I guess they also joined and explained their complete product. So they already have, like, if you want to buy gold, they are tokenizing it. If you want to buy silver, they are tokenizing it. They are
Yeah.
tokenizing, real world assets like house and other things also. So again, our platform is built in a way that the permissionless listing is there and it will support any ERC20 token. And they are
Gotcha.
doing it on Ethereum chain also. So we obviously had a discussion. We are collaborating that, their liquid assets, which, they might be, they will come into our ecosystem, and lending and borrowing of those will be available. But again, UFT is not related to that. That is totally different. We are helping them to do the lending and borrowing of those assets, but UFT is not backed by any real world asset. UFT is a simple governance token.
Yeah, so that's nice. Already there's a collaboration there with two projects there. Obviously we had Oro on yesterday. They're doing some pretty exciting things, and it's good to see that this collaboration in this space is alive and well with two very, very promising and projects that have, I think, huge future potential. So one last question before we go over to you, Matt. How much API will your platform, I guess they're asking is, sorry, so I just scrolled down, apologies. Yeah, how much API will your platform provide? It seems like we've got a bunch of questions just come in last minute. So there's quite a few here. Just mindful, we've got 3 more minutes. We're on a pretty tight schedule. Are you going to be able to hang around, Chandresh, for the break, or are you on a tight schedule yourself?
Yes, I have another calls also actually, and it is pretty late in India already.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can ask 1-2 more questions, or we are already running late. So yeah, we can sort of, I can see if I can join later on. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So yeah, the last question was API. Do you have API specific to on your platform for anyone that wants to maybe look into lending or anything? Yeah, APY, sorry, APY, yeah.
APY. Yeah, so see, currently, I mean, I am seeing that a lot of projects, what they are doing, I mean, we can again go and launch staking of our token, we can distribute our token, that, you can do that, but it doesn't make any sense. I mean, obviously we have 15% of our total tokens to the reserve for, distributing to the protocol users. But again, until unless our protocol is live, it doesn't make any sense to do that thing. So currently we don't have any such things happening currently. When we launch our protocol, we will obviously, there will be opportunities to earn UFT. And if you are, a Uniland holder, you will have much more benefits than other people who are not holding Uniland tokens on our platform. So yeah, there will be something exciting in the future, but currently we are not doing that.
All right, brilliant.
Awesome.
So the announcement there is when the platform goes live, there's a good chance that you're going to be rewarding UFT holders with some form of value add. So is there anything else you can sort of give us? Maybe some breaking news before we let you go, Chandresh, to get the community excited? Would be great to finish on a high there.
Yeah, so yeah, you guys have already seen that, we have collaborated. So Probit is a big name in terms of centralized exchanges. So currently what we have seen in the DeFi space, that, centralized exchange audience is sort of getting left out. And what I personally and my team believe that, it has been the complete crypto market has been running on that. We have that space has, huge audience, and people are starting to, realize the potential which decentralized finance has to offer. So we are coming up with that mentality that obviously we are targeting the decentralized finance audience that will come, but we won't leave out the centralized finance audience also. So we are in process of something cool will happen in future, which will sort of eliminate the problem of bringing liquidity to our platform, and also bringing users to our platform. So yeah, I mean,
Awesome.
yeah, don't want
Yeah,
to say too much. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, I really appreciate that, Chandras. We're out of time here, so if you want to know more, you can check out their Twitter and their Telegram channel, which will be linked in this description below. I think we're ready to start with the next AMA, so you're more than welcome to hang around for the panel section, or maybe come back. It's up to you. If the
Yeah.
if the Zoom admins could switch over the tape to get the next YouTube video rolling, we'll start with title finance, and then it'll be with Chad Liu. So just give us 1 second, Chad. Can you hear me?